All right, what's up guys? Today we're gonna be showing you a complete process on how we repaired a seat bolster on an Aston Martin Vantage. So this is your basic how to professionally repair leather. Stay tuned.
And as you can see, the damage is right there. And it's just worn through. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean it. I'm going to recoat it using a specialty air dry filler. And basically that'll adhere to the panel. Then I'll use some specialty primer base and then specialty color to recolor the area and make it look perfect and brand new. So we'll go ahead and get started on that and show you guys the process. Step number one is we need to match this color. So we're gonna go get our swatch ring and do that.
Alrighty guys, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my swatch ring here and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try and find the closest color that I can. If I can't find the exact match, then I'll have to adjust, but typically you can find a match that's really close. So I'm just gonna filter through all these and try and find something that works. All right, so this looks like it's the color to me. This is caramel. So if you look on the back, there's a little code 277. So I'll now just go to my mixing chart and we'll get this mixed up. It actually looks like it might be just slightly too dark, so I might have to add a little bit of a different pigment into it just to get it to a perfect match. However, this is still amazing because this gets me really close without having to do a bunch of guesswork. All right guys, so now I have my color that I need, which was 277. I'm gonna go into my swatch color book, find code 277, which is right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. 277, and I'm only gonna mix up 2 ounces of this. Actually, I'm only gonna mix up 1 ounce, so I'm just gonna cut all these numbers in half. But it looks like I need, if you look on the chart, there's a number here, and it correlates with pigment number 101, and so forth. You just kind of go down the line. So I'm gonna gather the colors that I need, and then we'll go ahead and mix this up. All right guys, so here are the colors I need. I need pigment number 101, 145, 160, and then I need my clear base. This is what we mix together to get it the right consistency and get it all to blend out the right way. So, all right guys, so the product range is called Polycryl. It is a polycarbonate acrylic blend. So it makes it really chemical resistant, which means you're gonna have a longer lifespan to your repair. It's not gonna rub off like some of the other competitors after a while. This stuff is super durable. And then from here, I'll color it and then I'm gonna apply a top coat of a product called Duracryl, which is basically just a clear top coat, and it's gonna become even more durable, so you get a really, really strong repair. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this up. I'm just gonna get my little deal here. All right, so it's really simple. Let me see if I can angle this down for you guys. Okay, really simple. So you wanna put your jar on. You wanna tear the scale so it goes to 0. Okay? Now, on this sheet, it is calling for 101, it calls for 0.8. 0.8 grams. So again, that's for 2 ounces. I'm only gonna mix up 1 ounce, so I'm gonna go with 0.4 grams. Now again, I'm gonna have to probably adjust this slightly at the end, but for the most part, it should be pretty accurate. It's just that color wasn't exact to the swatch, so I'll have to adjust a little bit. All right guys, so again, I'm probably gonna have to adjust this at the end of it because the swatch wasn't perfect to the actual leather in the vehicle. So I'll have to blend it a little bit. So I'm just gonna get close to these numbers. Again, it calls for 0.8 grams of 101. I'm only mixing up 1 ounce, so I'm gonna give it 0.4. I'm just cutting all the numbers in half. And there we are. Okay, we're registering 0.41, that's totally fine. All right, we move down the chart. Now it calls for 2.9 grams at 140, which is, at 145. So this pigment, now we're not adding 2.9 or 1.45 in our case since we're cutting it in half. We are adding up to that number. So we're already registering at 0.42 right now. Now we're gonna take the next one and we're gonna go up to our, let's see, 1.45
grams. All right, now for 160, you'll find that this color is in a lot of, this pigment is in a lot of different colors. So 277, we're gonna run up to 7.0, so we're cutting that in half, so we're gonna go to 3.5 with this. There we go, 3.55, that is just fine. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and mix the clear base up to the rest of it. So we're gonna run to 47 grams. So we're gonna, again, cutting that in half, so we'll go to 23 and a half, or I'll just make it 24 grams. There we go. So again, went a little over, but I'm really not too concerned about that because we're probably gonna have to mix a little bit anyway. So now I'm just gonna mix this up. I'm gonna let that sit because at the end of it, before I actually spray it, I'm gonna use our cross linker right here called Safe Link. And this really helps to, this is a heat activated product. So when I spray it on and then I go to dry it with my heat gun, it actually activates this and creates an even stronger bond with the material. But I'm not gonna add that until I'm ready to spray. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up. You wanna make sure you're scraping everything off the bottom and everything off the sidewall so you're getting all the color to mix in correctly. All right, so there's our color. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this and rub it onto the fabric or onto the leather and see how it matches. All right, guys, so again, this panel has not been prepped. I have not put the primer on or cleaned the area or anything. I'm just trying to see how close I am with the color right now. So I've got it all mixed up. I'm just gonna take a little sponge, dab a little bit onto the sponge, and then rub it into the area. And that looks like it might be a really good match actually. So there's that. We're gonna take my heat gun, I'm gonna dry it out. And so it looks like it's just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit too dark. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lighten that up and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So since I had the right shade that I was looking for, it was just a tiny bit too dark. It was the right color combination, it was just a little bit too dark. So I just added a little bit of white, lightened it up, and now we're perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by cleaning this whole area. I'm gonna sand it down a little bit and clean it, get it all prepped. So step one, I'm gonna go ahead and sand the area down with some 600 grit sandpaper, making sure that I don't hit this threaded seam here. I don't wanna damage any of that. So we'll just work carefully. First, I'm gonna get this seat belt out of the way, like so. And we'll go ahead and sand the area. Again, avoiding that stitching, you don't want to damage any of that. All right, so the area is sanded. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this now using some. All right, so the area feels nice and smooth over the damage. I don't feel the damage anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it now. So I'm just putting some of the cleaner on a microfiber towel and just rubbing it out. And I'm gonna clean the area a little bit larger than what I actually think I'm going to be spraying, just in case I need to spray any wider, or if any spray kind of gets out of the area, then it's no issue. Running along the seam there again of the stitching, get that all cleaned up, and we should be good to go. Okay, so there it is. You want to make sure, trying not to get any, touch it again with your fingers, because you're just going to put oils back into it. And we'll just let that dry out. I'll hit it a little bit with my heat gun. And we're ready. So again, we're going to be using an air dry filler on this. From Viper Products, we're going to be using XR10, and we'll just apply a really thin layer over this. The customer is not worried about all these little creases. He actually likes that. It just kind of gives the leather a little bit of character. He just wants that pigment back, so we're not going to go crazy with it. We're just going to do it over that little piece. All right, so here is our compound. Again, XR10 is an air dry filler. Sorry, I don't know if that's focusing for you guys, but trust me, that's what it says. So I'm going to open it up, and there's the product. You can see it's very creamy. And so what I'll do is I'll take my spatula here, just take a little scoop of it, just like that, and apply a nice thin layer over the area. Just very, very thin. Just put it on like that, and then I'll wipe away the excess. So you can see it's wanting to fill these little cracks too, which is great. It's just, I don't want to fill too much of them for the customer. All right, so a nice thin layer there. Go ahead and let that air dry for a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll apply a little bit more just to be safe. Alrighty, that should do it. Now again, this product is amazing and it can fill all those cracks. However, I'm just using a very, very, very thin coat of it, basically just to seal that area so that the color goes on and doesn't try and absorb into that dry spot. It'll actually lay on top and bond to that whole area. All right, so now the next part of the repair is I'm actually gonna tape off the stitching here, just because I don't want to color that. There are some products actually where you can kind of paint it on. It'll kind of harden up. You could spray the area and then you peel that off. I just don't have any currently, so I'm just going to use tape that area off. I'll re-dye just this area, pull the tape off, and then I'll do the clear coat kind of in a more of a broad area to make everything nice and uniform. So you want to get right up onto the stitching as much as you can without leaving too much of a gap, so you get the best looking repair possible. All right, so that's good there. Now that's ready. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on this for you guys. So, it's up here. Alrighty, there is the damage, right there. Actually, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get my primer base, and I'm just gonna rub a coat on there. Again, that's gonna help everything just kind of tie together and so that the repair is as strong as possible. Alrighty guys, and here it is. So you can see it is called Grip Base. It is a high-tack primer coat. So all I have to do is actually just apply this right to one of my little sponges and wipe it on, let that dry up a little bit, and then we're ready for color. So here's my little sponge. Just gonna apply a little coat of it, just very light. I'm gonna rub it in on the area. Now I'll turn my sponge to absorb some of the stuff that I didn't need that much, so go ahead and absorb that, and we're good to go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in that SafeLink cross-linker product into the dye, into my color, and that way it'll make sure that the repair holds really strong. I've got it mixed in there now. Just gonna go ahead and cap this off. Shake it up and mix it all together really well. Okay, then I'm gonna hook it up to my airbrush. And I'm gonna go ahead and test my spray pattern so that I know what to expect when I actually shoot it. Just gonna spray it onto a towel just so I see. Okay, looking good. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and get something to cover this whole area. I don't want a bunch of overspray going around, so we'll make sure everything's nice and covered, and then we'll go ahead and shoot it. The first coat I'm actually gonna apply by sponge and just rub it in. So here it is on my sponge, I'm just gonna rub in the area. We'll dry that out. Okay, now we're ready to spray. You can already see you can't see the repair at all anymore. We're gonna go ahead and dry that. And once again, guys, the safe link within the product now is heat activated. So by curing it like that with the heat gun, it's actually bonding even more. So it's great. I'm just gonna give it a second coat now. I'm gonna go a little bit more wide now and just make sure everything blends together nicely. All right, you dry that out again. All right, so we are looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and peel off the tape. Okay, and as you can see, guys, the repair is completely filled in. Everything's perfect. Again, it is still cracked, but I did that on purpose. The customer wanted it to look like that. He likes that kind of old baseball glove look. So as you can see there, it looks all like, I mean, 100% natural. It just looks like the leather is kind of worn on its own, doing that little bit of cracking, but now all the pigment is back into it. It's a perfect color match, no issues there. Now I'm gonna do a quick coat of the top coat on there, and just to make sure that it all locks in even more. I don't think I really need to. The area was prepped properly. The safe link was in there, plus we're using the specialty product from Viper Products, so it should be good. But just as a safety precaution, this is a really high impact zone right at the seat bolster, right where it gets in and out, so it's constantly rubbing. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that top coat, and then we should be good. Alrighty guys, so here we are. The repair was here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Duracryl top coat now. I just added some safe link to it to make it even stronger. Just shaking that up, and then I'll go ahead and apply it. All right, so here it is. Again, first things first, I test my spray pattern on a microfiber towel. All right, so here it is, and here we go. Just dust it on there nice and smooth and nice and even. Again, I'm going over the area plus a little bit just to blend everything out. Again, I'll take my heat gun, dry out the area. All right, there it is. Everything's all applied. Stitching's all good. Everything's nice and smooth. It's got the same exact amount of gloss as the original material. As you can see, guys, just the damage is gone. No more bald spot. And that is it. That is how you repair a seat bolster on an Aston Martin Vantage. If you're interested in getting any of those products, getting into this interior repair business, I'm setting up a site now. All of Viper's products will be on there. I will link them down below, and I'll try and set up a little store where, like in this situation, I'll link exactly which products I used for it. And then you guys can get into this. For me, on my detailing business, when I started doing this, I got into more dealership accounts.
And I want to say I doubled my income, but honestly, with my dealership accounts, it's probably even more than that. You know, the interior repair side of the business is a big chunk of my income. So it's a great business. It's really, you kind of get an artistic feel from it. It's really satisfying. The same way detailing is satisfying, within a couple hours you see a full transformation of a vehicle from dirty to beautiful. You can do a transformation with this in a matter of a few minutes. You can see this repair with all the mix and everything took me about 15 minutes. If this was for a retail customer, seat bolsters, I usually charge about 120 bucks. Dealership, obviously it varies. If it's a black car and it's really easy for you to, or black interior and it's really easy for me to mix, I'll just charge them a cheaper rate versus something like this where it's a custom color where I have to adjust it from where it was on the swatch, then it's more. But great business. Now let's get back to finishing up this car so he can get it ready for his photo shoot.